Welcome. In this video we are going to show you the MRIN processes in the property, plant and equipment asset management module. The content of this video will be how to create an MRIN, how to create customer requisitions, how to return items from a PCH account back to stock, and how to see the history of an item in PAM. So let's start on how to create an MRIN. We have to understand that an MRIN, in this case a stock number line, also has a weapon system code. To be able to see the weapon system code on PCH level, you have to make sure that the weapon system code is available at PAO. So you need to authorize the PAO for the weapon system code, in this case OFFU. After the PAO is authorized, you need to make sure that the PCH, in this case TC05, is authorized to have weapon system code OFFU. And after that, you can go to Inventory Explorer and then you can start creating an MRIN. So in this scenario, we already have a PAO with the weapon system code OFFU and a PCH TC05, also authorized for weapon system code OFFU. Let me show you a demonstration. So here you see the same view as I just showed you in the slide. We have a PAO in the red icon, HQ Asset Management Training, and we have a PCH TC05 Training Office. To create an MRIN, we are selecting the PCH, and you will see on the right now we have a button available saying create a new MRIN. By pushing the button, it will open up a new screen. Here you see the PAO and the PCH customer code information. I have an installed, spare and temporary balance authorized quantity, which is set to 0 by default. I have a balance accountable, on hand 0, discrepant 0, and on order to be returned and not distribute is also 0. Now, to select an MRIN, we have to go to the plus button, choose the right stock number. As I mentioned previously, make sure that the weapon system code associated to the stock number is also authorized at PCH and PAO level. That also means if you cannot find the stock number, there are two options. Either the PCH already has it on his account, or he's not authorized for the weapon system code associated with the stock number. I'm searching for the right stock number, in this case the table conference. I select OK. Now you will see that the item information has been completed. I see that serviceable stock is 10, and then I save. I have to provide a justification. Okay. Then I see an adjustment voucher because I'm changing the MRIN. Now I can choose to change the installed balance authorized quantity to the quantity that I want to issue. Let's say 2, and I save. So now I'm authorizing this PCH for 2 of these items. Again, I will see an adjustment voucher because I'm changing the authorized quantity. And next is how to create a requisition. So to show you the result of the MRIN creation we just did, let's go out of this window. I will refresh. And now you will see the same structure as before, but now we have the MRIN included. So the next step is how to create a requisition for the MRIN line we just created. For that, we have to click on the MRIN. Now we see on the right a button available saying Create Requisition. Now we are choosing the posting control serviceable because we want to take it out of stock. We said we want to give them 2 because we authorize them for 2. In this scenario, we are going to only create a requisition, so no automatic release. We will not select the serial number because in a real life scenario, most of the time this is done by the warehouse staff. And we only say save. And now you will see that the balance accountable has been changed to on order 2. To complete the process, we have to go to RDSS. We go to B002, the release process. In this case, let's search on stock number. This is my requisition. Double click. So in this scenario, I'm releasing the item from stock. Quantity to be released is 2. I have 10 serviceable. I can still choose to pick a serial number. Again, we will leave this up to the warehouse staff. So we only say save and we are releasing it from stock. The next step is the shipment confirmation. This is done by the warehouse staff. The table we just issued, 2, double click. Now we have to choose the serial numbers we have taken from stock and that we are going to hand over to the PCH. I select the 2 serial numbers which I have picked from stock. I bring them up to the selected area and then I say select. Now I see number selected 2, minimum 2 and maximum 2. So in this case everything is done correctly and I save. So after the shipment confirmation, we will go back to PAM. You will see here the quantity on order is 2. And after refreshing, the on-hand quantity now is 2. That means the shipment confirmation has been done. Let's continue and create a second MRIN. Again, I have to click on the PCH, go to the right and say create a new MRIN. Go to the plus button to select a stock number. in this case a chair, select, OK. I'm going to provide them with 3 chairs. I'm going to authorize them for that quantity. I see I have 100 in stock, and I will save. Justification. An adjustment voucher. And now the information is saved correctly. I can go out from this window and I can refresh the screen, and now you will see I have a second MRIN created. We also see that one stock number is serialized because I see an S in front, and here I see an item which is not serialized. Create requisition. Now all the fields with a red asterisk are mandatory. Yes. In this scenario, I'm also going to select the automatic release that will automatically process the B02, so we don't have to go to the B02, we can go directly to the B004 shipment confirmation. Then we also have the option to attach documents. Like in any attach document process in NDSS, we can click on the plus button and we can create any or select any document. Yes. And then you just save. And now we save the process. As I mentioned, the automatic release button has been ticked. So we are going to skip the B02. The on order has been changed to 1. Now we have to go to RDSS to the B004 shipment confirmation. I have my chair. Save. As you can see, I didn't have to select any serial numbers because the item was not serialized. Sometimes it will take a few seconds or minutes before the interface between RDSS and PAM is processed. So let's refresh. You will see the on-hand quantity is 1. Now, to show you, the installed quantity was 3. We only issued 1. So let's show you how to update the information. I double click on the MRIN line and I'm going to update the installed authorized quantity to 1, so it is matching the actual on-hand quantity, and save. Justification. An adjustment voucher will be shown, and now I have an installed quantity of 1 and an on-hand quantity of 1. And you can see the MRIN is synchronized, it's green. So I will go out this window, I will refresh, and then I see I have 1 PCH with 2 MRINs created. On the right I see installed 2, on hand 2. Let's imagine that a PCH is returning one item, in this case a table. He's returning 1 table to the warehouse. We go to the right and say return equipment. there is a join document number created starting with an F, meaning it's a customer turn-in. I provide a justification. And I can choose the serial number which I'm turning in. If I select 2, automatically the quantity is updated. But in this scenario, I want to return only 1. So I'm selecting the serial number I would like to return. So I have my justification, I selected the serial number, and now I'm going to select save. And I'm creating a join document number, and it's showing me a voucher that I can print off to hand back the item to stock. Now you will see the to be returned quantity is 1. The on hand is still 2 because physically it has not been handed in yet. So the to be returned quantity is 1. And you can see which serial number has to be returned. For the return, we have to go to RDSS, the C003. So in RDSS, we go to C003, receipt posting. I know that it's a customer turn-in, so I will select F, %, and search. And there is my table that I just created the turn-in. Double click. I see that the serial number is already selected automatically because I did that in PAM. Receipt quantity is 1, and in this case the remark was no longer needed. So let's provide a location. And by saving, I'm going to receive the item back in stock. So we go back to PAM to see our transactions. As you can see, it was still with the red icon to be returned. Let's refresh. And now you can see the to be returned quantity is 0, on hand is 1. You could choose to update the installed quantity. We just showed you. So our last subject is on how to look at the item history. So to look at item history, I have to select the stock number I want to look at. So in this case, I want to see the transactions we just processed. So I go to this stock number line and then I say item history. And then I can see all the movements that we just processed. Whoa. To understand the history of the item, we can see that we created the MRIN. The next process was the authorized installed quantity. I can see here installed +2. The next process was the requisition, the +2 on order. If I click on one of those lines, I can see also my justification. I see the person that created the requisition. The next step is the shipment confirmation, the B04. So I changed the on order quantity. It was +2, then it was -2 because it moved to on hand. So here the physical items were delivered. That's why it says on hand. And the next process we did was a creation of a join, meaning the turn-in that we created, starting with an F, turn-in to be returned, +1. Here you can see the -1 is taking the quantity from to be returned, removing one item from the on hand. And the ZRT means that the shipment for the receipt process was done in C003. So this is how you can read an item history. We created an MRIN. We showed you how to create customer requisitions. So in this scenario, we use 2 different stock numbers. Then for one of the stock numbers, we showed you how to do a customer return with a transaction document number starting with an F. We did a receipt of the item back to stock. And at the end, we also showed you how to look at the item history of an item which has been processed in PAM. So, thank you very much, and please look at our other videos as well.